Hi class, today we're going to be working on lesson 1 in chapter 1, and that lesson is called Place Value Through the Millions. So you'll be learning all about place value, starting with ones and going right up to the millions spot. The first thing that we start with when we do place value is this tool. And this tool is called a place value chart, and it's a tool mathematicians use to show the value of a digit in a number. Just so that you know, in larger numbers, groups of 3 digits are separated by a comma, and these groups are called periods. So when you look down here at our place value chart, you'll see that we start with the ones period on the right-hand side, then the thousands period, the millions period, and it could go on even farther if we had a larger number. So every time we have 3 digits in one of these periods, we separate them with a comma. So I have this very large number right here, and if I was to read this number, it would sound like this: 92,955,793. Each digit in this number has a value on our place chart, so we are going to move each digit to where it belongs according to its value on this chart. So let's start with the 3. The 3 in this number belongs in the ones spot on the place value chart. The 9 belongs in the tens spot. The 7 belongs in the hundreds place. Then I move to my next period. The 5 belongs in the thousands place. The second 5 belongs in the 10,000s place, and the 9 belongs in the 100,000s place. And I finish with the millions period. The 2 belongs in the 1 millions period, and the 9 belongs in the 10 millions period. So when you look at this number, did you notice which direction I was moving from? Yeah, if you had said that I moved from right to left, you would be correct. When we put digits from a number into the place value chart, it's smart to always go from right to left. All right, so let's look at this number a little bit more and talk a little bit more about what it means to have a place value. There's my number again, 92,955,793. And I've already moved these numbers into my place value chart, so I'm just going to quickly slide them down into this chart so we have them in front of us. So I had 3 ones, 9 tens, 7 hundreds, 5 thousands, 5 10,000s, 9 100,000s, 2 millions, and 9 10 millions. You notice that there's a pattern there? And I forgot to mention that on the other page, so I'm going to flip back for just a second. But there's a pattern when you're working in these periods. It always and forever will go 1, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. And that will help you if you remember that it's that pattern. It will also help you when you're reading these larger numbers. So remember, it's always 1, tens, hundreds in the ones periods, and then it becomes a 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 in the thousands period, and then 1 million, 10 million, 100 million in the millions period. All right, so back to looking at some values. So we can list our values this way of each digit. This time I'm going to start over here with the 9. I know that I have 9 10 millions. So if I was to write this out, 9 times 10 million would give me what? What do you think? Take a minute to think about it. Maybe jot an answer down on your scrap paper. Awesome. If you had said that 9 times 10 million will give you 90 million, you'd be correct. So the value of the 9 in this number is actually 90 million. Okay, so then I move down. What value does the 2 have in this number? Well, I have 2 millions, or 2 times 1 million, which gives me 2 million. Now I'm going to move to the 9. I have 900,000s. 9 times 100,000 is 900,000. What do you think comes next? I have 5 10,000s. 5 times 10,000 is going to give me 50,000. That's right. 5 times 1,000, because I have 5 thousands. I have a 5 in my thousand spot. 5 times 1,000, 5,000. I have a 7 in my hundreds period, or excuse me, I have a 7 in my ones period in the hundred spot. So 7 times 100, 700. I have a 9 in the tens place. 9 times 10, the value of the 9 is 90. And then a 3 in the ones place, which means I have 3 ones. 3 times 1 is 3. That means the value of 3 in the number is actually just 3. Well, I want you guys to look for some patterns right now. What do you notice about these numbers as you are going up? What do you notice? If you said, as I was traveling up my chart, these place values, these values were getting larger, you would have been correct. And actually, they get larger by a certain number. So I'm going to show you. Every time you move a space to the left, your value becomes 10 times bigger. Now the number might not be 10 times bigger, the digit's not 10 times bigger, it's just the value is 10 times bigger, okay? See, 1 times 10, because it's 10 times, gives me 10. 10 times 10 gives me 100. 100 times 10 will give me 1,000. Every time you move to the right, it gets a little bit smaller. The value. So every time I move a place to the right, my value becomes 1/10 of the value before it. So it's 1/10 smaller. So it's important to remember that every time you move to the left, your digit has 10 times greater value than the one to the right. As I'm working, if you have any questions, make sure you write them down on your paper and then you can bring them to our class discussion. So now we're going to talk about the way that we write numbers. In 5th grade, there are 3 ways that we can represent a number. The first way that we can represent a number is in standard form. I like to call this the normal way. 252. That is written the normal way, the standard way of writing a number. It's just the numerical expression written in number form. The next way that you can do it is expanded form. Expanded form, think about what expanded means, right? If I eat a lot of turkey on Thanksgiving, my stomach's going to expand, which means it gets bigger. When I blow up a balloon, it expands, it gets bigger. Well, when you write a number in expanded form, it just gets a little bit longer. It stretches out. So I'm going to show you what I mean. If I take this number, 252, and I want to write it in expanded form, I'm going to do that in a way of writing this number as a sum of the value of its digits. That's a mouthful, right? Here's what it actually looks like. I have 2 in my hundreds place, which means I have 2 hundreds. 2 times 100, just like we were working on before. I have 5 in my tens place, so I added the next value, 5 tens. And then I have a 2 in my ones place, so I add that value, 2 times 1. So this is the expanded way of writing this number, 252. There's a little bit shorter of a way to write expanded form, and it looks like this. So we know that 2 is in the hundred spot, so we have 2 hundredths, so I can write it 200 plus 50 in my 10 spot, so I come down here and write 5 in my 10 spot, so I come down here and write it as a 50, because 5 times 10 is 50, and then my 2 just goes on the end. And when you're writing an expanded form, you're always putting a plus sign in between the values of your digits, because expanded form is a way of showing the sum of the value of its digits. And that word sum always means to add. The last way to write a number in 5th grade is in word form. Word form is exactly how it sounds. It's writing the numbers in words. It's a way of writing a number using words only. I like to remember it, write it the way you say it, okay? So if I have 252 up here, I'm gonna write 252. I'm writing my numbers out using the words, not just the numbers. So let's practice. Go ahead and grab a piece of scrap paper if you haven't already, and a pencil. You can always pause these videos. If you need to go grab something and then come back, pause and come back, and I'll still be here waiting for you. Okay, let's get started. So we're gonna work on the value of some underlined digits. Please write the number 469,999 onto your paper. The question asks us to find the value of the underlined digit. Which digit in this number is underlined? The 9. So I need to find the value of my 9. Well, I can go back and I can think about my place value chart, or I could just remember ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. So I know that my 9 is in the 10 spot, which means that 9 has a value of 90. That is correct, because it is in the 10 spot. So I have 9 tens for a value of 90. Please write this number onto your paper. 35,089,096. We are going to look for the value of this digit right here. What digit is that? You're right, it's an 8. So we're looking for the value of the digit 8 in this very large number right here. Well, it's not in the hundreds period, happens to be in the thousands period. That's correct. So I'm going to count back. Ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000, 10,000s, and I can stop. I have 8 10,000s. So the value of 8, the digit 8 in this number is 80,000. Very good. Okay, the next practice that we're going to do is to circle the digit in the 10,000s place. Well, we were just looking at the 10,000s place. So let's come down here to this number. I'm going to read it. You should practice reading these numbers along with me, because reading numbers is a good, important skill to have. So we start over here. 1,235,986. Notice that I pause at those commas to say the value of the place. So 1,235,986. The question is asking us what digit is in the 10,000 place. So I'm going to start from right to left. Ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000, 10,000. Oh, that's the spot I wanted, right? So I know that the 3 is in the 10,000ths place. Excellent job. All right, 2 more questions that we're going to practice. We have this very large number right here. Let's practice saying it together. I'll say it, then you say it. 2,673,524. Let's do it again. 2,673,524. Excellent job. We need to write this number in word form and then in expanded form. Here we go in word form. Take a minute to write this number onto your paper, and then let's write it in word form. Make sure you pause the video while you write it in word form. That way you can check to see if you were right. 2 million. And I'm going to put my comma there because that's the end of that period. 673 thousand comma 524. So word form is really important. If you can say this number correctly, you can write this number correctly. So check your work. Did you write 2,673,524? If you did, awesome job. Okay, well, they didn't just ask us to write it into word form, they also asked for expanded form. So we're just gonna, actually we'll come over here to the board. Move these out of the way. So remember, there's 2 ways to write expanded form. Expanded form is the sum of the value of the digits in a number. Oh my goodness, that doesn't want to come off. Okay. So come over here with me. Okay. So on the board, I am going to write that very large number. And that very large number that we just wrote in word form was 2,673,524. I'm going to start thinking about my place value. And I'm going to start right here with the millions. So I have how many millions in this number? 2. 2 times 1 million. Okay, now I'm going to add my next value. 6. 6 is in the 100,000 spot. So I'm going to write 6 times 100,000 plus. Move to my 7. 7 is in the 10,000 spot. 7 times 10,000 plus. Next is the 3. 3 is in the 1,000 spot. 3 times 1,000 plus. 5 is in the hundreds place. 5 times 100 plus. 2 is in the tens place. 2 times 10 plus. And then I have a 4 in my ones place. 4 times 1. Did you remember there's another way that you can write this if we're doing expanded form? Looks like this. 2 million plus 600,000 plus 70,000 plus 3,000 plus 500 plus 20 plus 4. That is the other way that you can write expanded form. And I will slide the camera up so it's a little bit easier for you to see that, so you can check your papers. Okay. For homework tonight, or your assignment for today or tonight, is to do some practice using the place value chart. You'll be determining the value of some underlined digits. You'll be writing numbers in standard form. You'll be writing numbers in expanded form. You'll be writing numbers in word form. If you need any help with that, please make sure you watch this video. Pause, rewind, go back and forth to find your answers, and then bring all of those questions that you come up with to our Zoom meeting, and I will help you there. See you at the meeting.